For more, we'll cross now to our senior France 24 correspondent, Catherine Norris-Trent, who is in the central Ukrainian city of Kryvyi. Good morning, Catherine. Can you tell us more about the latest developments where you are?
Hello there, Erin. There have been several bomb alerts in this central southern region of Ukraine in various cities. So very often we're seeing scenes of families hurrying down to bomb shelters, waiting for the sirens to end and waiting for the all clear to be given. There's a lot of fear in this region, and there's continued military activity in the south of Ukraine. So continuing battles around key installations, infrastructure installations and army bases in the south of Ukraine. Officials say there are warships they've spotted off the coast of Odessa on the Black Sea, and also there's been fear that Russian troops have been advancing on the Enerhodar nuclear electricity plant, which is just south of the city of Zaporizhzhia. So a lot of panic in this region about that, especially given Vladimir Putin's latest comments that he wanted to deploy specialist nuclear Russian forces. We have spoken to somebody inside that nuclear plant, which is a major electricity plant which supplies lots of electricity to across Ukraine, and they had told us that of 9:30 a.m. there weren't Russian forces inside there, but only 10% of the staff were there because, of course, there are huge safety fears at the moment. Well, as the military pressure continues to build on this area of Ukraine as well, what we've seen in recent days are people in these cities, in the central city of Dnipro, where we just were people mobilizing in whatever way they could. So that includes signing up to fight, giving donations, and really rushing around. We saw the frantic pace and the frantic energy which they were deploying to boost the war effort. Take a look at our report. In a city square, Ukrainians loading crates of homemade petrol bombs, following government instructions to defend their homes.
These are to make Molotov cocktails. This is the only possible way to protect ourselves, our children, our parents and grandparents, and all of us.
Since the start of Russia's assault, citizens in Dnipro in central Ukraine have been organizing a resistance. Volunteers are signing up in droves to join the territorial defense forces and starting work on city defenses, leaving their jobs and families behind.
Right now, I shouldn't be a simple physiotherapist or like doctor. I should be a soldiers, which see goal of our enemy, and with Kalashnikov destroy this enemy. I'm ready, and my children and my wife ready.
And there are many like him, security guards, businessmen, now providing backup for Ukraine's army, although some tell us they've had little training and are lacking equipment.
We were given some weapons, but we don't have enough bulletproof jackets, nor helmets. We want our European and American partners to help us.
Some supplies are pouring in. Here, not military material, but whatever local residents can get their hands on to help Ukraine's war effort. Volunteers rush around, frantically organizing donations of clothes, blankets, food to be sent to soldiers, volunteers and hospitals.
We are ready, and we know that Russia didn't expect our nation to rise up so quickly and so actively. Ordinary people, as well as actors, singers, and movie directors, left their homes and are helping the territorial defense.
Russian troops have been advancing towards this town from the south of Ukraine, and people in Dnipro know that they could be next in the line of fire. And they're working hard to make their city a symbol of Ukraine's resistance.
Well, Catherine, on top of what we saw in that report, the solidarity we saw in that report, in rural areas across the country, there's also growing suspicion about the possibility of Russian saboteurs and infiltration. What can you tell us about that, and what are Ukrainians doing to prevent it?
This atmosphere of suspicion is something we've seen increasing in recent days as this conflict draws in. So in this central area of Ukraine, around cities, there are big reinforced checkpoints being built with armoured vehicles and manned by lots of soldiers and volunteers, and they're carrying out identity checks, vehicle searches, really checking who is travelling in these areas, because there is suspicion that there are Russian saboteurs infiltrating the cities. There are all kinds of rumours and reports flying around, but people are really on their guard. Local authorities have asked people to climb up onto the roofs of their buildings and check that there are no markings painted on the roofs which could possibly guide Russian aircraft or provide targets for military strikes. So people are being told to cover up any suspicious markings they may find, and we've spoken to people who've seen that being done in their houses as well. So there is a lot of tight security, there's a lot of suspicion, there is tension. You know, often when we're out filming, people, residents or the police will come up and check who we are, because people know that if these cities are not under direct attack right now, there are lots of bomb raids and the troop movements are very fast sometimes. So there is a lot of anxiety that they could be next in the line of fire, and not necessarily just under tank or missile fire, but there could be infiltrations into the territory here as well.
Catherine Norris-Trent in Kryvyi Rih, thank you very much for that update.